One of the reasons the Kronos is so powerful is that it has 9 sound engines. Sound engines are the technologies used to create a sound. Typically, a keyboard uses one sound engine, usually sample playback technology, to create sounds. The Kronos is much more powerful. Let's take a quick look at the 9 sound engines to understand how they work. Of course, the beauty of the Kronos is you can simply select a sound and play it. Everything is done behind the scenes for you. But understanding each sound engine may help you when deciding what sound to use for a particular musical application. This program uses the SGX2 sound engine. The name of the sound engine is here under the program name. It's designed solely to create piano sounds. Because the Kronos uses KORG's virtual memory technology, it can access gigabytes of sample memory in real time from the internal solid-state drive. This lets us sample every note at up to 12 velocities with no looping. The SGX2 responds like a real piano, from adjusting the piano lid to true string resonance. There are 3 fully sampled pianos, a German D piano, a Japanese C piano, and a Berlin D piano. The Berlin D piano also includes dedicated una corda samples for even greater realism. This uses the EP1 sound engine, designed to create electric piano sounds using MDS, multi-dimensional synthesis. After the electric piano is sampled, MDS is able to separate the mechanical noises from the true tonal harmonics, giving separate control over the two. The tonal harmonics are analyzed and put back together in 2 dimensions, velocity and decay. This makes the velocity and decay of the EP1's Tyne and Reed electric pianos seamless, with no sample looping. Unlike typical samples, MDS allows complete real-time control of the electric piano sound. The EP1 has modeled amp and pedal effects inside the sound engine, separate of the Kronos effects section. In this example, the intensity of the pedal effect is adjusted using the control surface. It's already set to RT knobs, short for real time. Knob 7 controls the intensity. Other pedal effects can be selected here. This organ program uses the CX3 sound engine, a modeled tone wheel organ. Notice that the control surface is already set to tone adjust for full drawbar control. Touching here displays the drawbars. A rotary speaker effect is right inside of the CX3 sound engine, separate of the Kronos effects section. Flicking the joystick forward changes the speed. No need to hold it. It acts like a switch. There are 3 Kronos sound engines designed for analog synthesis: the MS-20EX, the Poly-6EX, and the AL1. The MS-20EX recreates the unique oscillators, filters, and interface of the legendary KORG MS-20 from 1978, plus many new synthesis features. You can move knobs directly on the screen. And connect cables by touching and dragging. In 1981, KORG released the popular Poly-6, recreated here with the Poly-6EX. You can move knobs directly on the screen as before, and with the control surface set to tone adjust, You have simultaneous hands-on access to every knob and switch. This next analog synthesis sound engine, the AL1, was designed from the ground up to create what an analog synthesizer can be today. Remember, these analog synths use modeling, not sampling, giving you incredible flexibility. In fact, there are 3 ways to adjust any program. You can go deep into the individual parameters of the sound engines, a sound designer's paradise. By the way, every program has this overview on the top page, showing basic information about the sound engine's settings. For example, here we can see the filter configuration. Touch the graphics to jump directly to that page group. Another way to edit the sound is to use Tone Adjust on the control surface. Each slider, switch, and knob of the control surface can be assigned a parameter. The third way to change sounds is the easiest. Set the control surface to RT knobs, and use the 8 knobs along the top. Knobs 1 through 4 are preset to filter cutoff, filter resonance, envelope generator intensity, and envelope release time. The 4 most common parameters players want to adjust quickly. Knobs 5 through 8 are flexible. They've been assigned to sound-specific functions by KORG's team of programmers, and you can also reassign them as you wish. You'll find that knob 8 usually controls the amount of reverb or delay effect. Knob 7 usually controls the amount of a modulation effect, such as a chorus or flanger. Knobs 5 and 6 will be different for each program depending on what the programmer thought was important to the sound. Since multiple parameters can be adjusted simultaneously with a controller, a simple turn of a knob can completely change the shape of the filter envelope while adjusting the intensity of an LFO that's controlling panning, plus add an additional insert effect. Anything is possible. Be sure to experiment with the real-time knobs when playing any program. This next sound engine uses a completely different technology, physical modeling. The STR1 Plucked string synth is used to create sounds that are plucked or struck, for example guitars, basses, bells, electric pianos, and more. Instead of just sampling a guitar note, you can literally design what the string is made of, whether it's plucked, struck, or scraped, even how much the string is dampened. For example, press Tone Adjust. In this program, knob 1 is set up to control if the player is damping the string or not, and everything in between, all in real time. One of the most popular synth technologies is frequency modulation. Sounds are created by modulating one waveform with another. The Mod 7 Modular Wave Shaping VPM Synth, the next engine we'll look at, takes this technology to a whole new level, allowing not only waveform modulation, but powerful sample modulation and processing. By the way, SW1 in the name refers to switch 1. Sometimes the name has controller information that's important to the sound. For example, AT for aftertouch, JS-Y moving the joystick in the back direction. In this case, SW1 indicates that switch 1 turns on and off the pad sound. The Mod 7 can create traditional FM sounds like this, but can also create sounds like this. While we're here, let's look at these other controllers. As explained earlier, other than the first 4 real-time knobs, a controller can be assigned to anything, including multiple parameter adjustments at the same time. When I say controller, I mean, for example, switches 1 and 2, joystick plus and minus X, and plus and minus Y. Other controllers include the ribbon controller, the 4 directions of the vector joystick, and more. With all these modulation possibilities, a program is really just a starting point for you to experiment with. You'll find they not only offer subtle music performance expression, but will inspire total sound modifications as well. The 8 sound engines we just looked at are referred to as EXI. You can see EXI written to the left of the sound engine name here. The next sound engine is the HD1 High-Definition Synthesizer. The HD1 is different than the EXI sound engines. Consequently, it's not possible for HD1 programs and EXI programs to exist in the same bank. Any bank, other than the general MIDI banks, can be assigned to HD1 or EXI in Global. We'll look at that in the Global Disk and Management chapter. This sampling and wave sequencing synth takes sample playback to a new level, with superior sound starting with KORG's proprietary low-aliasing sample playback oscillators, full bandwidth multimode resonant filters, and extraordinarily fast and smooth envelopes and LFOs. Plus, virtual memory technology gives the HD1 access to gigabytes of onboard samples in exquisite detail. From orchestral brass to aggressive basses, all instantly available. The HD1 also features wave sequencing, the ability to play a series of samples one after another, either rhythmically or smoothly, all lockable to tempo. Each step can have its own duration and pitch, creating incredible sound movement possibilities. A few more points about programs. A single program can have 2 EXI sound engines at the same time. For example, this one that uses 2 AL1 sound engines. Or this one that uses an SGX2 and a Mod 7 to create a beautiful piano and string pad. Also, you will find over 200 song programs in the Kronos, designed for use with particular songs. For example, this one. And finally, every program, no matter what sound engine it uses, has access to a 3-band Parametric EQ, 12 insert effects, 2 master effects, and 2 total effects. We'll look at the effects in the sequencer and effects chapter.